Back home, and Labor MP Craig Thomson has stood down from his role as the chairman of Parliament's Economics Committee. In the first sign, the opposition's attacks on him are starting to hurt the government. The Prime Minister says the political assault should stop while police look into evidence presented to them by the opposition about Mr Thomson's behaviour. Here's political correspondent Tom Eagleton in Canberra.
Hey, this kid looks a bit big.
For a change, a good-natured rally on the parliamentary lawns.
I thought you guys were the experts at spin.
You're pretty good, mate. You're pretty good, Tony.
In the political contest, the opposition's charging the net too, plotting new ways to bring embarrassment on the government.
There really has been a determined effort.
Tony Abbott's tennis opponent's been accused of arranging a loan to settle Craig Thomson's legal bills.
George Brandis and others have raised questions in the Senate. I've answered the questions, so they're there. My answer's there.
Senator Brandis has also supplied police with a brief of evidence he's collected against Mr Thomson. They're deciding whether or not to proceed with an investigation. The Senator scotched reports that to proceed, police need a complaint from the union who supplied Mr Thomson with the credit card which was used to pay for prostitutes.
If the police are satisfied that there is sufficient prima facie evidence of a crime having been committed, it doesn't matter who the complainant is. What matters is the evidence that has been put before them.
The evidence, he alleges, shows fraud carrying a maximum sentence of 10 years, more than enough to have Mr Thomson ejected from his seat and force a by-election. The Prime Minister says it's not appropriate for her or the opposition to talk of the matter with the police now involved.
He's applying that standard to a member of his own team. I would think, as an act of fairness, he ought to apply that standard more broadly.
And you shake the tax about.
That's a reference to Liberal Senator Mary Jo Fisher, who's facing charges of theft and assault in South Australia.
And my understanding is that Senator Fisher isn't participating in her committee work for the time being while the matters concerning her are unresolved.
And tonight Mr Thomson followed suit, resigning as head of the Economics Committee.
It's a decision that he had to make. It's a decision that I and others said he should have made. And it's unfortunate that it took so long for him to be dragged kicking and screaming to this conclusion.
The support being given to the member for Dobell, that is sickening. That is sickening.
This from a party who lost 9 ministers and parliamentary secretaries while they were in government, who had to resign as a result of either rorts or conflicts of interest.
The argument was heated today on the carbon tax front too. Tony Abbott's told coalition MPs not to grant pairs with Labor MPs who need to take leave from Parliament during the carbon tax legislation debate.
People on both sides of the House of Representatives in particular have some legitimate needs to be absent from Parliament. The Foreign Minister is one case in example at the moment, and I think it would be absurd and churlish for that not to be respected.
The government shot back, attacking Tony Abbott's refusal to deal with foreign carbon traders as part of his carbon reduction policy.
What it is a white carbon policy on the part of the Leader of the Opposition. What would be next, Mr Speaker? We stop foreign trade, we stop trading in the dollar.
And as if accusations of xenophobia and criminal misbehaviour weren't enough, a family drama emerged today involving the Conservative MP Bob Katter. A gay half-brother's given an interview to Channel 10 criticising Mr Katter's outspoken opposition to same-sex marriage.
It's hurtful, it's dangerous, it's damaging, and it's really inappropriate.
Attempts to contact Mr Katter were unsuccessful, but a member of his office told Lateline that his Australia party had bigger things to worry about. Tom Eagleton, Lateline.